I'm Jessica Hume, and here is my speech and some visual aids, and here's my audience.
Hello.
There used to be a man long ago. He was a handsome and debonair man who was quirky, and he had a mustache that just wouldn't quit. As you can see right here. He was a man that was a prolific inventor that passed without errors and the recognition he deserved. He was an Einstein, except that he was even better. Nikola Tesla was best known for work that sparked the second industrial revolution with research and inventions in electricity and magnetism. Just imagine stumbling in the dark at home, stubbing your toes daily on the coffee table because all you had was a candle to light the dark. Without him, that's where we would be right now. This is what makes him one of the most kick-butt geeks of all time, and that's why I'm commemorating him today. I'm Jessica, and being a lover of all things science-y, I find that Tesla is one of the most interesting mad scientists to have ever lived. I've even bought a brick that will soon be used to build the Tesla Museum on the property that holds his former lab in Shoreham, New York, which is right here. But why should we care about Tesla? He was the science pioneer for so many things that make life easier today. Oh, and he invented the light bulb, of course, which we'll talk about in a minute. Tesla was a man devoted to his craft, and we're going to talk about the many reasons, mainly his inventions, as to why we should commemorate his existence. And then we're going to talk about how he died alone and without praise, but he did leave an impact on the lives of everyone. Tesla was a genius, and his work ethic was unmatched by many. He was a man devoted to the sciences and, quite frankly, a genius. He worked daily from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., only stopping for dinner, and then he'd resume his work till all hours of the morning. And all of this left him for little time for sleeping or a social life, and so he never had a woman to marry. He spent his entire life celibate. And it can be believed by at least me that without that distraction of marriage and women, he was able to fully devote himself to his geeky passions entirely. He believed that dating would interfere with his work, and it turns out he got a lot done by not dating. And that's more than I can say since I'm married to my husband. His devotion was strong to the end, and one of the most inspiring things that he has said that still sticks with me today is that I do not think that there is any thrill that can go through the human heart like that felt by the inventor as he sees some creation of the brain unfolding to success. Such emotions make a man forget food, sleep, friends, and everything. His passion for science and technology has sparked passion in me and has the potential to spark passion in others. He was a genius far ahead of his time. A lot of people thought his inventions were outlandish and impractical. I mean, he developed the idea for smartphone technology in 1901, but the guys back then were all, oh no, that's not for us. It was inventions, designs, and creative thinking like that during the 1800s that make him the genius that he was. But the extent of his genius can only be translated to you with his thoughts, ideas, and creations, which are the reasons that we're commemorating him today. He was a highly misunderstood, geeky scientist that pioneered so many things that make our life easier today. But you might not know it because other people might have stood in the way, or he might have sold his patents to someone else. He was the guy who thought of brilliant things, but forgot to write them down. He could speak 8 languages, and he had an eidetic memory. And you can compare that to today's main TV hit show, Big Bang Theory, Sheldon. He has an eidetic memory too. He could read entire books and recite them all at will. He was amazing. He was the Avengers' Tony Stark of the 19th century. But you can't concentrate on that, can you? Because you haven't stopped thinking about my saying that he invented the light bulb, because you don't think it's true. You're thinking that Thomas Edison was the father of the electric age, but Edison only improved on the designs of other inventors. Edison was like a dog with a bone in regards to Tesla. He was an awesome salesman that took advantage of a lot of great ideas of his employees. And eventually, a feud arose between Edison and Tesla, and Edison even tried to smear Tesla's name into the dirt by collecting pets that surrounded his lab and publicly electrocuting them using Tesla's new machine that was in direct competition with his machine. Don't get me wrong, they weren't mortal enemies or anything, but their relationship could be considered love-hate. But I digress. Tesla pioneered radar technology, but you wouldn't know that because he pitched it to the military, but they thought it wasn't useful technology. Tesla built the first hydroelectric plant in the US, which powered the city of Buffalo at the time. He experimented with cryogenic engineering first, before it was a thing, and he's the father of radio astronomy, because he was the first person to record radio waves from outer space. And I think that's ridiculously awesome, considering the time that it was. He's held patents that were later used to develop transistors, which are found in electronic circuits everywhere. These give you the ability to make mobile telephone calls and use your computer, update your Facebook page, all of those things. He invented the remote control so that you don't have to get up and change the TV. You can sit there and do it from there. And he invented the modern electric motor, wireless communications, and the beginnings of renewable energy sources. He was beyond his time because this was all during the 1800s. But all of this genius is basically unrecognized because you don't hear about the man behind the curtain, the Wizard of Oz as it was. You hear about the public figure that can sell you a light bulb, or you hear from the patent holder that Tesla sold his patent to. Tesla was born during a fierce lightning storm, which some could say was an omen to his future talents. But at 86, he died alone in his hotel room of coronary thrombosis. But his death, however, was honored by so many people that you'd think that he would still be remembered today. Tesla was once presented with the Edison Award, and the vice president of the Institute of Electronical Engineers expresses how we should feel today, saying, "Were we to seize and eliminate from our industrial world the result of Mr. Tesla's work, the wheels of industry would cease to turn. Our electric cars and trains would stop, our towns would be dark, and our mills would be idle and dead." But outside of his contributions to science, Tesla was a pretty kick-butt person. When word got around that another scientist was using his radio technology, Tesla basically said, "It's okay because that guy's a cool guy. Plus he's using some of my other work." Personally, I would have been furious. So here we are today to commemorate this man, a man devoted to his craft who was a veritable genius. And the many reasons that we should commemorate him we have talked about. We talked about hydroelectric energy, radio, his pioneering of wireless communications, and the transistors. None of us certainly would part with our cell phones in this day and age. In fact, we're recording this speech with my own cell phone. So thank you, Tesla, for making that possible. But he may have died penniless and alone, but he won't be forgotten. His contributions to science have impacted people across the globe. He used his entire life to invent things that were revolutionary in a time when things weren't nearly received as well as they are now. Our lives today are so much easier now, and Tesla can be thanked for that. So today, we commemorate him, a man who in the end died broke, alone, and hallucinating a relationship with birds, a man out of his time, a man who invented an actual death ray, and if that's not respectively cool, I don't know what is. He was a man who shortened the distance of communication and made it possible to be in your house in the dark because he was the master of light. Thank you.